Well, as testing season gets nearer, many students experience test anxiety, which we know can impact their performance, their well-being. But communities and schools of the Dallas region has some simple strategies to help those kids feel more confident and less stressed. So joining us to talk about this is Dr. Summer Rose, who is the Chief Clinical Officer and Interim CEO of Communities in Schools for the Dallas region. Now, I appreciate you being here today, especially because I know you guys are so busy trying to provide resources for all of our different schools in North Texas to help these kids realize their full potential.
Yes, we are. So we have been around since 1985 here in Dallas. And so if you did some quick math, we turned 40 this year. So we're really excited. Thank you. We're really excited to be celebrating 40 years of supporting students across the DFW area, specifically supporting them in academics, behavior and attendance, and also social services needs. We are currently under our new strategic plan where we have three kind of external focusing areas that we're focusing in on. That is post-secondary success for middle and high school students. That is expanding our mental health services, and that's also family engagement.
And these resources are needed now more than ever, especially as I mentioned before with testing season coming up. Right. Love it or hate it, testing is a means that's used to assess where these students are, if they're realizing their full potential or not. So you want to make sure these kids come into the season and they feel comfortable, they feel ready. How do you help kids who are struggling with the extra pressure, weight, anxiety of taking these tests, whether it's standardized tests or, collegiate tests, whatever?
Correct. So as we know, not just kids are affected by test anxiety. That happens for us as well, right? When we've got a big project, a big presentation that's coming up, we get nervous, we get worked up about those things. And, for students, we find that they experience a lot of pressure to succeed. They have, a fear of failure. They, sometimes have had bad negative experiences with testing. And so we are really making sure that we are leaning in all school year to support and build some healthy habits around, okay, what happens when we have something hard, right? What are some things that we can do? So we're teaching coping skills. We're teaching them how deep breathing helps to kind of calm them, ease them. We're teaching them mindfulness so that they have some strategies that they are practicing throughout the school year in preparation for testing. So don't want to teach someone how to put out a fire in their house while they're standing in the middle of the fire.
Well, I know for me as a student, just like when you play a sport, if you've got to make that free throw when the game's on the line, you're going to be nervous if you've never taken a free throw before. So I know how important some of these tips can be. I also remember a teacher telling us about the energy required to take a test. So sometimes it's little things like having a good breakfast even.
Correct. So we, especially for the day of, right? That night before, we want to make sure we're getting a good, nice rest. None of us are at our best when we haven't had a full night's sleep. Just like you said, a healthy breakfast, something that's going to feed and fuel our brain and our body so that we can show up as our best selves. And then one thing that I really want to kind of underscore for both parents and for teachers, we really need our students to know that their worth is not tied to their performance on any one measure, right? That sometimes kind of not on purpose gets communicated to kiddos that, this thing is so huge, this thing is so monumental. And for them, that means if I don't do well, then I am bad.
Right.
And so we really want to make sure that we are creating a caring, supportive environment where they know that all we want you to do is your best.
Well, and I know that having those messages reinforced at home is super helpful as well, but it's just one of many areas where you guys are trying to help our kids be the best they can be. For people who want to get involved or find more information, where should they go?
CISDallas.org. That way you can see what we've got going on and ways to get involved. You can volunteer, you can donate. Money helps us to keep this program going and to provide for these very, very needed students.
Well, Dr. Summer Rose, I appreciate you being here, and I really appreciate all that you do to help these kids because the ripple effect is far and wide, and we need all the help we can get right now.
Thank you, Mark.
Cool.